Alright, welcome to game 9. It's 9, right? Pretty much covered all of the basics now, so I guess we'll just be like rehashing everything to get a bit of revision. I mean, a lot of the stuff is relevant to just the game in general, like how you should play with bounties, which would be part of the game right now. Playing either to claim or protect them doesn't really change what lane or role you're playing, but pretty important part of the game. So the important stuff about playing in bot lane is really playing around your support in the early game, trying to get as much value out of them as possible, and going for the trying to rush the level 2 to get it before your lane opponents do. So we can do that by just trying to push them off the minion wave and make sure that they don't kill them as quickly as we do. So we get level 2 of this wave. I don't want to push them back that much though, because then there'll be no engage, unfortunately. We push up anyway. Should be a kill. So there we go, pretty textbook lane opening where we just push them off the wave, get level 2 and then try and kill them. And after that, like, kind of got to evaluate depending on how much health you've got and everything, but in this case I burnt a lot of resources to get that, so I'm just going to shove the wave into their tower, try and deny just those minions to the whoever it is, misfortune, and take it back to buy items. I kind of want the Lux to go back as well, but you can ping and if they don't respond, that's it. So I guess the other big thing that I think a lot of even higher ELO bot laners don't communicate with pings much. Like, you should be calling like for who you want to kill, or maybe I should have kept going for that. Like, ping to communicate with your support. Like, generally you want to either be pinging to tell them that you're wanting to target somebody, or to back off, or to help push the wave are the main things. Should pretty much never be typing, just because it takes too long. The only time you can do it is when you're dead, which is completely pointless. So yeah, you should practice trying to communicate with pings wherever possible, so that when you actually need to communicate, which is, you know, in the split seconds before something happens and you can't possibly type, you're used to doing it. Lux is out of mana. But if she can get a bind on the Zyra, rather. Okay, got a flash. So we should really be watching for a jungle gank at this point. And that wave's good enough. I don't think we need to go for a plate. Lux needs to take a reset. trying to encourage her to reset by going back myself, but it's not working. It's fine, as long as she doesn't die. I'm just thinking that a jungle gank's going to be coming soon, because we're, you know, we just shoved a big wave into their tower, and we're low on mana and health, but doesn't seem to have happened, though. That's why I wouldn't be playing this way. But, you know, if they're confident, then I'm not gonna know about that one. The biggest problem though is that she didn't have any mana, so like, sure, she didn't die, but now she's gonna have to reset, and I'm probably gonna be stuck in lane with 2 people for a while, which makes it hard for me to get. Okay, I don't know where they are, but I'm not going to fast push through any of their jungles top, but
I can make a difference here.
I just want to wait for the Lux to get back before we try and do anything here. Happy for the MF to push out if possible. I don't want to have the wave frozen on their side of the map. Missed the cannon, kinda sucks.
Monsters are everywhere.
So we're basically just waiting for Lux to bind someone and we'll go in. Though just her poking them off is also acceptable if you can deny them farm. It's pretty hard to deny experience because the distance is actually pretty long, but so we've got level 6. If she had have hit that, we would have tried for the kill, but this wave's pretty thin, so okay, here's their jungle. Took a while to get here, but that's what I was imagining was going to happen earlier. So we need to always be thinking about the jungle. So we'll clear this and potentially look to help mid, I think. Just ignite him to make sure we get it. Okay, so that's sort of, I guess, one example of when you're ahead, doing stuff to sort of snowball the game, because we're not likely to get too many examples of it, but it is completely fine for me to leave the lane there, and they couldn't really respond because there's a level up and they had the wave pushing into them, and we're far enough ahead that the Lux can kind of bully them on her own to an extent. Just because we've got the level lead.
I see you. Feed the beast. Albeit meal.
So I'm going to grab this plate and not get killed. So I'm pretty sure they'll back because they're super low, so we'll just shove this wave and then take the reset. Actually, we've got a long time before their wave will reach us, so you can see ours is here, so theirs is in the same spot, so it gives us plenty of time to take this plate, and then we can reset after that. Got jungle incoming, and they'll be back in lane. So we've got a kind of an open to do dragon here. I don't actually care that much about first dragon. I'd rather get back and buy my item before. Don't want to contest the dragon, right, with 2,000 gold in the bank when they've all just gone back to base. Would be a bad idea. So that's sort of why maybe going for that plate was bad. We should have instead taken the back and then we would have been in time for the objective. But that's getting pretty like sophisticated in thinking about timings and stuff, so
Survival. That'll leave a mark.
no interest in diving them back there. Like, you know, plates also aren't that big a deal. They're just sort of a little icing on top thing if you can get them, but if they're not something you should really stress over getting or die for or die defending, like, you know, they're 2 cannon minions or something. Do you int over a cannon minion? I mean, maybe some people do. She's hitting them too much, like, under the tower. I can't really get them when they're that close, but I can get her on taking 1 hit. I'm actually not that afraid of their jungle at this point, because if they showed up it's still only 2v2 and we're ahead. So ignite him. Went for the wrong person. Okay, there's no plates to get, so definitely no point in staying. And just got 2 kills. I don't think she gets me. Nope.
Exploit their weakness.
So at this point that we've got a decent lead, we basically just want to take this tower as quickly as possible now and then try and get some pressure on other lanes to leverage our lead, which is what you're doing if you're ahead in the other lane. It just doesn't happen that often that you're ahead enough to do it, like, because, you know, I'm still going to be lower level than actually parity on level with most of their teams, so it's a perfect example of a game where you're ahead enough to do stuff on the rest of the map. Where'd the MF go? Oh, she's there. Basically want to go top if possible, although don't really care about putting a Singe behind. It's not really going to carry the game. But, yeah, see. That's the problem with going too close to the tower, but I had flash, so it was reasonably safe. Definitely don't want to give them shutdown if I can help it. Zaya's also really annoying. Yeah, I didn't see him coming from behind. Nope. Still, they should clean this up and get the tower, so that's fine. He come through that way. I didn't see him on the ward, or was I just not paying enough attention? That's the thing with also recording. I have less attention to pay to stuff, so I do miss things. So these aren't cherry-picked games, they're just games that I've played as bot lane mostly back-to-back. There's a few gaps where I've played other roles, and I forgot to record one game, so there was actually a 9th game that I forgot to start recording on, and it was a loss, so we are 6 games from 9. 6 wins, 3 losses. Buying for him to dive that I don't need to help. Rather not be grabbed by the Singe, but okay, the Malphite's gonna ult me and the Singe is gonna grab me and these guys are gonna not peel at all, then see, that's the other thing I'm talking about. Like, even when you're super far ahead, which I mean, you know, we're pretty far ahead at this point in the game, you still don't have the carry potential of like a top laner usually, because if your team doesn't peel for you, you can just be killed. There's not really anything you can do about it, right? Like, in that situation, my flash was down and there's just, I can't escape from a Singed and a Malphite ult. Like, if they stick that on me and I don't have any peel from my team, then they're gonna kill me. So that's why you don't really carry, like, it's not really a carry role, just because you're still reliant on your team to prevent you from dying,
It's fight or flight, only now.
even when you're ahead. Mostly, well, it's 2 things. It's the level and it's the, just the nature of the champions, that marksmen generally less survivable than, you know, like a Garen or whatever. Can do a lot of damage and survive most things. Doesn't actually need his team to keep him alive. Whereas But, you know, if we had +4 levels on, that would be a bit of a different story. But it's just not realistic to get that kind of thing when you're in a duo lane, for the most part. So, I don't actually want to be here ARAMing. We want to try and find some solo farm, even though we're not actually behind on levels. But we still want to try and
This place is too beautiful to be
not share experience where possible and only group for fights. So don't want to chase that really.
This human lives in me and hunts with me.
So yeah, I think this is a good, probably good time to burn. Like, we should be able to kill it before they can really respond. They've got the wave pushing mid, and they just lost one, so
I'm going.
I'm just gonna grab some of this jungle XP while they're back.
Void rule number 1. Don't die.
I really want to probably go top, I think, here, if I can go on my own. I mean, it's more a thing that the Kled should be doing, but I think he's going to group for dragon, so
Just might stay.
technically I should group for the objective, but I'm pretty sure they can handle it, and I can get this tower. Like, the Kled or one of the people with teleport should be doing this and teleporting for the dragons, so I shouldn't really be here, but they're not going to do it, so sometimes you just got to take it upon yourself to do these things. And unfortunately, didn't go too well. If I was there, we would have won the fight, so that sucks. Looks like the Kled still manages to clutch it out though. Yeah, he's got that, so I'm just going to head straight to dragon. So ideally one of the people with teleport would have pushed top and teleported in the flank, and we'd had got like a pretty big lead out of that instead of what we ended up with, but I don't know, sometimes just the feeling I had was that they'd probably be able to handle it.
Stay for the fruit.
And the Zaya's coming. Ah, she stole it. But this took it away from their
Not be
jungle or whatever. It's fine if Zaya has it, I guess. Zyra. Too many people with the same name.
this is my place. Learn from me.
Zyra's probably on her own up there. She also probably warded. I know. Shyvana's there. Okay. Okay, the Zyra's out of position, so she'll probably try and. There she is. I don't need to kill her though, I just need to make sure she wasn't coming up the flank.
trees. How I miss them.
Again, I don't really want to aggro. I want to get some side lane pressure if possible. It'd be better if somebody else was doing it, but obviously you can't really fight this guy with the amount of health I've got, but if he wants to follow me around while, you know, they're doing stuff mid, that's sort of a win. I got his ult also.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Anger is useless. A wound that will only continue to affect.
Just gonna tell them to get back. I'm not there. And we should start, like, you know. Yeah, they're probably gonna mostly die. I'll see if I can get anything done. Go for misfortune. Then get their jungler if we can. With Knight from our fight. Okay, there we go. Grab this plant. Don't really know why someone keeps voting to surrender, but whatever.
Moving target lives longer.
I'm gonna just go for the inhibit. Nah, don't really have time to get it.
That's enough. The hunt will resume.
If I had more health, I'd probably try to find it, but I don't know. My ult's down. I do have flash up, but it's not worth risking. Only just won a pretty good fight. Like, you know, we want to play around bounty conditions. I've got a 550 gold bounty, so I don't really want to give that away. At least not for free. If we ace them and I die, then it's okay, you should give it up.
Feed the beast. Or be its meal.
Always trying to deny resources when you're ahead. Well, always trying to deny resources, always, but especially when you're ahead and they can't really do anything about it, is good. No need to fight if they don't commit, we can just zone them off. No, don't go in there, there's nothing there that we want.
Stand firm. Strike hard.
So don't want to fight over a blue buff or something dumb like that. Lost vision of her. So the singe run out way too far. I just want to try and protect these two without dying. I could kill her probably, but what's the point? Like, she gets more out of me being wrong about being able to kill her than I get out of being right.
Let them come.
So they're all top. I probably have time to kill this. There we go. Now we just get out. not do that. So one thing, always once you get an inhibitor, you should just leave, because there's nothing for you to do. You've got to wait for the supers to get up there, and like, okay, not always, since sometimes you can just end off it, but like, you know, in that case it was a 4v5 and we got the inhib down, so now we've just got to wait for the supers to start pressuring, and off the supers pressuring we can then, usually you want to try and get another opening rather than just keep running down the lane of the supers, because then they don't have to worry about, like, you know, if you're all mid with the super minions pushing them, their team doesn't have to worry about rotating to do anything. They're just, okay, well, we defend mid lane because that's where all of the bad stuff is. But if we can have supers going up mid and then also be pushing top, I don't care about that. Then they have to divide their attention.
Survival means
So
not stopping. The void knows that too.
just want to... Yep, okay, now fight ult's gone. Probably just kill him now. Okay, so I think we just win off this. There we go. Shyvana's off on her own bot, which is not where she should be. No one's going to care about her pushing out a tower there. So in this case I got a big wave, so I wouldn't back obviously, and we've got supers in the mid, so we just went after that. That's pretty much how you play ahead. GG. So if we play one more game and then wrap up the series, you can like and let me know if you'd like to see anything else. That'd be cool.